Hello everyone, and welcome to another Little Nightmares video. In today's video, I'm going to predict a new chapter of Little Nightmares 3 and who the next main enemy will be. Scouring the information we have on Little Nightmares 3, I think one of the main enemies has already been shown to us in a very major way without anyone realizing. But before we start, I'd like to tell you all of something I will be doing with my community. Recently, I hit 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and by the time I noticed and wanted to make some sort of celebration, I'm already close to hitting 11,000. So, to celebrate and give me time to prepare, I will be doing a fan theory review once I hit 15,000 subscribers. You, my community, can send me your Little Nightmares fan theories over to my email, theovermanln@gmail.com. And when the time arises, I will make a video sharing all of your revolutionary new ideas and interpretations of the Little Nightmares franchise. Thank you all for helping support me so much. I never thought I'd reach 10,000 subscribers in essentially just a year of making videos. Thank you all for all of your support. And as always, check out the Discord, Patreon, and all of my other socials in the description. Once again, thank you all for your support. It means the world to me. I was looking at the Premium Spiral Edition for Little Nightmares 3, and I was trying to zoom in and examine all of the content that we'll be getting when I focused onto the art book's cover page. We see what looks like a room with a door at the end of it, drawers and boxes with measuring tapes, as well as massive rolls of fabric lining the walls. In the DLC art as well, we see what looks like a pincushion, spools of thread or yarn, and lastly, weird mannequin-looking guys. This room on the art book, as well as the themes of sewing, sounds almost identical to a room described to us in the Sounds of Nightmares episode 6.
I found myself in a musty, cluttered room. Mountains of patterned fabrics piled against the walls. A long wooden table was covered in scraps and tools. And a machine whirred behind the closed door across from me. A familiar, faint smell. Candy apples. And enchanting sad music. Against one wall was a rack, a white wedding dress splashed with dark stains, a purple suit and red bow tie.
We see a lot of similar details, measuring tools and fabric on the walls. We also hear about a purple coat with red bow tie, the outfit the purple man seems to be wearing. Noon smells candy apples and hears music in the background. This room has a connection to the carnival, clearly. Noon also encounters a puppet and kills it by smashing its head.
Was anyone else around?
Only the puppet.
What puppet?
I leaned in to get a closer look, and he darted to life, grabbing my leg. He yanked until I fell and struggled to break free, kicking at him, but he held tight to my ankle. Reaching for a nearby bottle, I smashed it into his head. He let go, and when he stopped moving...
All of which lines up with the puppets in Little Nightmares 3. This clothing area described in episode 6 is something we will almost certainly see in Little Nightmares 3. The main reason I decided to talk about this, however, is because of what Noon encounters next. A woman, mannequin-like, too perfect to be fully real or fake. This, I believe, is going to be the main enemy we face that hasn't been revealed yet. The Puppeteer, as she is called in the captions of the Sounds of Nightmares episode 6 video. This half-mechanical woman who acts as a tailor, creating outfits for the performers of the carnival as well as taking care of the puppets. For the full context of her encounter, listen to the full Sounds of Nightmares episode 6, or better yet, listen to the full series. And for the first episode, you can watch my stop-motion interpretation of it. The whole series has a surprisingly little view count, so I highly recommend listening to it if you haven't yet. Anyways, I believe this will be an area we face in Little Nightmares 3. It could be its own chapter in-game, it could be a small subsection of the carnival chapter, or maybe it'll be locked away in its own DLC chapter similar to the lady's residence in the DLC for Little Nightmares 1. Wherever she shows up, I think she's a big villain we'll face one way or another in Little Nightmares 3. Now, knowing what we do know about her, how could she play out in the game? Truthfully, we have so little information on her, it'll be very hard to conceptualize anything, but I'll give it a shot. I feel like she'd be a mix of the teacher and the barber gameplay-wise. The teacher aspect will come in with her in a way creating or controlling the puppets. The barber aspect being she tries to kill us with big-ass tools. We only ever see the barber with big scissors trying to kill a kid. I think the puppeteer could do the same with her sewing tools. I imagine she utilizes her different tools in different ways. Maybe she uses her long measuring tapes like a lasso or whip or something, trying to hit our protagonists or trying to wrap them up and capture them. She could throw big sewing needles at us to hurt us like darts, or maybe we could use her needles to fight back. She could try to whip us with a measuring tape and Alone parries or blocks it with her big wrench, while Lo uses his bow to shoot sewing needles at her. She could use sewing scissors to also just try and kill us the same way the barber would have. While the idea of an actual combat system sounds cool, using our surroundings and tools to fight back against her, I doubt that'll happen, at least in the way that I described. Her being described as almost robotic, I doubt she'd react if Lo shot a needle at her. I like to interpret her being glossy as her being glazed, like ceramic. In my interpretation of her, she is made out of ceramic, or at least her head is. As a ceramicist, shooting a needle at the ceramic with a tiny bow and arrow would do very little damage. And as a mechanical thing, or at least mechanical sounding thing, I doubt she'd feel pain or react or anything. Perhaps we'd have to kill her by smashing her head, similar to the actual puppets. I imagine she'd be similar to Roger gameplay-wise. Roger was very smooth, almost elegant in his movement, and she's being described as very graceful almost. I imagine her to be more like a neutral enemy, not actively searching for us and prioritizing her work over capturing Lo and Alone, similar to Roger again. A lot of what we see of Roger is just him doing his job, checking in on the kids, wrapping their bodies, checking the coal, whatever he does. Also, similar to Roger, I imagine we kill her in a scene where she chases us to her own demise. Her persistence and inability to fully think, as she is somewhat robotic, would lead to her not recognizing the danger she is willingly running towards. Personally, I imagine Lo and Alone have to set up a trap, using the fabric as rope almost, and setting a trap similar to the bullies in Little Nightmares 2. They suspend some heavy thing, maybe one of her sewing machines, and Alone uses her wrench to suspend the thing with a makeshift lever. They'll suspend it in the doorway using some string and have the heavy thing be strung up using fabric. Lo could shoot the string, keeping the trap set up, and the heavy thing swings down and shatters the puppeteer's head. While I think this might be a bit convenient, like it's very convenient everything is in place to set up this trap and that might break immersion, I could also see it being cool using both Lo and Alone's tools to set up a trap to kill this weird mannequin robotic woman who's too stupid to see the trap because she is, at the end of the day, some weird robot thing. I also imagine her not having a very strong connection to the puppets, at least gameplay-wise. When she finds the puppet after Noon defeated it, she didn't seem to react a whole lot. I think it'll be similar to the teacher in this regard. Maybe we'll have one scene with the puppets around the puppeteer, but I imagine most of the time they'll be pretty separate from each other. I imagine she almost creates the puppets, and like a factory, once she makes them, she ships them out into the carnival and doesn't really see them further than that. It'd be like encountering all of the puppets in the carnival, then encountering their creator after escaping the man in the purple suit with his dummy. This is all speculation, however, and a lot of what I propose could just be plain incorrect. We'll just have to wait and see. That's all for today's video. I know this one might be a bit of a short one, and I promise to have a lot of projects coming up. For example, Cascade to the Cradle Episode 2 for one. Sorry it's taken so long for me to get to it. I just kind of wasn't enjoying making the art for it, but I'm getting back into the swing of things, so hopefully I can get to it soon. I also have 2 more fan stories I'm working on, one alternative story for the Maw where we explore different areas 6 never saw, like say a bathhouse area, hotel area ran by the bellman, a kitchen area with a 3rd chef that was cut, a subsection of the prison where we encounter the hanging man before his death and a new original character of mine, and lastly, the deep depths of the Maw, an almost empty storage area below the Granny's level where you encounter these green creatures called the barnacles. The story will showcase a different side of the Maw, and instead of 6 trying to escape the Maw, our protagonist will try to escape something else by descending deeper into the Maw in hopes of finding safety. Unfortunately, he will find himself cornered at the very bottom, and I'm sure you can guess where the story will go from there. The 3rd massive project is going to be the biggest. It's a story I'm creating in a location I call the Autarkia. There will be all original characters and stories and locations, including characters like this forest man, a florist, a soap maker, a cook, a waiter, an herbalist, and most importantly, the vintner, the face of this whole thing. I want the story to be the most in-depth with the most in-depth art. This will be my most original story yet, and so far, creating the art for this has been something I'm very passionate about, so stay tuned. I'm learning Blender and how to 3D model and 3D animate just for this project. All of this aside, thank you for watching. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, so expect more smaller videos in the future as I work on my bigger projects. Thank you all for your support, thank you all for helping me reach 10,000 subscribers, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.